Welcome back to the second half of the Bobby Dupre Show, along with my sidekick, Mr. Andrew Gitros.
Good morning.
We got to catch up on a few sponsors
Yeah, let's
here
do that right
away.
now. Benny Supermarket, go to your local splash of savings. You know, summertime, everybody's going swimming and everything else. When you get out of the pool, you want to get some things to go and grill, go by Mr. Benny Supermarket right here. They got great meat selection. Some already pre-seasoned, little shish kebab looking things in that meat cooler ready to go. Beautiful fresh produce. They win best of the best fresh produce every year. Community coffee right now, they got the 2 bags for $9. And you know, if you like me, we drink a lot of coffee here on the show and a lot of coffee at home. So go by, see Mr. Benny. They do catering for your weddings, your parties, your graduations, funerals, banquets. Go by. They'll do anything. If what you do,
they'll cook it for you and you pick it up after work.
If that's what you want. If you want them in the white coats to do the full-blown catering, they handle that as well at Benny's Supermarket right here on South Union Street. And don't forget, they're open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you got plenty of time to go there before work, after work, and then Sundays from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And Little Benny Sports Shack there for nutritional supplemental needs. I know you got your athletes about to go back to school, start football, start all the different sports.
They need energy.
And Miss Mary's gift shop as well.
Okay, let's get
another one. How about Carl's Thrifty Way? All your medicinal needs, Carl's Thrifty Way can help you out. Compounding medications, that's a big, big thing. So convenient for you. Most people aren't just taking one medication. You know, they may have a cholesterol medicine and another medicine that they're taking. Go by Carl's. When you get your medicines, they'll compound and make it easier for you to take, so you don't have to have that old tackle box where you got to say, okay, 1 of these, 2 of those, 1 of this, whatever. They'll do all that and make it easy for you to take and put in the easier opening bottles. If you're at home where you don't have to worry about kids, you can ask for the right containers to make it easier for you to handle if arthritis or just grip is not quite as strong as it used to be, or carpal tunnel. Us that work on keyboards, we can't grab it quite as tight. They've also got great home decorating ideas. They've got great gift ideas. They do free gift wrapping. They do monogram service. Go by monogram at Carl's Thrifty Way here in Opelousas.
I called in my renewal order before I came to the station this morning. On Friday, August the 19th, that's a couple of weeks from now, Friday Night Fury. Well, what are you talking about, Bobby? Well, what I'm talking about is boxing. And this is going to be at Cypress Bayou Casino. Not sure they've ever held any boxing, but the last time they had some big fights over at the Hilton Hotel. I interviewed and I showed a picture of a gentleman that was there looking at it and trying to see if he felt that customers would be interested. Apparently he liked what he saw, and Chad Broussard and his company is putting on some big boxing matches. And of course, Rock Hard Mighty, Mason Menard, will be fighting for the UBO World Lightweight title, along with about 5 other professional fights. These are professionals, and they're good young professionals. And I'll be reminding you of this each week until then. And of course, Junior Golden Gloves champ, little Jody Gauthier. I'm sorry. Jody is the father. He's pictured with his son Jay Gauthier.
Right.
And Jay, after the younger Gauthier won the 2011 National Junior Golden Glove Championship in Nevada. You know, these youngsters don't just receive a championship belt and all of that. They also get to see the United States all around, and of course, as they get a little older, then they start fighting in international boxing matches. So it's a wonderful.
It's fun watching him grow up.
Yep, that's correct, and I'm sure the daddy is very, very much interested. One more sponsor.
Why don't you some obituaries? Let's do that.
Okay.
While we.
And I want to apologize to the Bertrand family. There was a young lady by the name of Denise Bertrand. And I say young, 54 years old, native of Opelousas here, and resident of Lafayette. She was undergoing surgery. Something occurred, and an accident occurred during the surgery, and it cost her life. I don't want to go into more because I don't know the details. And the obituary in both the Daily World and the Daily Advertiser, neither one had times and hours of visitation with the family. So I want to particularly apologize to her brother, Leonard Bertrand. You know, we very close, and his wife, Priscilla. And I felt so bad when I learned on Tuesday that there was a wake on Monday night. And I want to apologize to the whole family. Beautiful young lady. Lots of people knew her.
I heard a lot of positive things about her all weekend.
All positive, yes, all positive. And then she also had another brother, Blaine Bertrand. So to all of the family, my deepest of sympathy. And another person that died was a guy that I knew for a long, long time, Wilbert Guidry. Wilbert must have been just about my age, 74, right? And look, that's a good smile. He and his wife, Emily, used to sell the flowers on South Union Street next to the old antique store there that operated there for years, next to Dupre Pawn Shop. They had the little bitty camper trailer, and
Right.
every year, that's All Saints Day.
Right.
So, and then, of course, years ago, he operated a bus line here in Opelousas, probably before your time. But anyhow, my sympathies to the family. And Rose Benoit Seymour. They lived next to my aunt and uncle, and my first cousin still lives there, Beryl Sebastian, and her family. And I knew Rose real well. She operated a successful beauty shop for many, many years. And they were living on Pine Street. I forgot to say where they were living. Then that kind of rings a bell. She is survived by her husband. Wasn't able to go to the funeral. The funeral took place in Baton Rouge, although the graveside service was held at Bellevue Memorial Park. My sympathies to the Seymour family.
My great-grandmother was a Seymour from Church Point.
Might well be,
I'm sure.
Very, very possible. And a person, Hayden, better known as Buddy Huffpower, the husband of Tony Quibido Huffpower for 31 years. And that's what I remember. The smile, the picture that they use here is what I remember. To his family and the family, Tony, my deepest of sympathies to you and your family. And there's one more here, and I'm speaking of Miss Juanita Bork, age 77. She's survived by her husband, Herbert Bork of Opelousas here, and of course her children, Wayne Bork and his wife, Kim.
Right.
They operated Herbert had the little Shell station and the convenience store over on Bar Catawba for years and years. And as far as I know, Wayne and Kim still live in that area. And also a daughter, Brenda Collette, and her husband, who live in Baton Rouge. Our deepest of sympathies to all of these fine families.
Now, I'm going to sneak some sponsors in. Dixie Storage. You know, last week, you and I went to meet Mr. Joey Doucette with Dixie Storage.
And his son, Jordan.
We had a nice afternoon, went visit. They're growing. All those when he started putting all those warehouses up, you and I both said, boy, that's a lot of warehouses. He must know something we don't know. He's got all those warehouses full.
If he got the bid that he was hoping to get last Friday.
He got the bid.
He got the bid?
I talked to the man who gave the winning bid, and he says they're going to roll with building some more warehouses.
Can you imagine?
And they've already got, the ones they're building are full. I mean, they're not building some extra.
Yeah.
They're building some for somebody that's got a special requirement, and they're going to build this thing. I talked to Mr. Stanford from the Port Barre area that builds warehouses, Thomas Stanford. So, they're all growing at Dixie Storage. If you need storage, if you need custom warehousing, they do all that. They do inventory control for you for Fortune. We used to say Fortune 500. Let's say Fortune 5.
Yeah,
huh?
That's right.
Some of the companies he deals with, I'm talking about some of the biggest companies in the world.
Dow.
That's right. I mean, he's
PP&G from Pineville.
That's right. They handle, and he's got locations all along 190, along I-49. He's got railroad spur access. He's got Dixie One trucking that can move stuff around from warehouse to warehouse. Great stuff.
No wonder he was in such a good mood.
Oh, he was in an excellent mood. And it looks like his son is going going to do some work around with the business, just graduated from the university, specializing in the type of business that they do. So he'll better give back to Daddy and help Daddy out and see maybe he's going to continue. Maybe he's going to work just a little while to get his feet wet and work on from there. We'll see. But don't forget, he's got two real neat things going on. Well, let me talk about A+ Glass with locations, which is their sister company here in Opelousas and in Lafayette for all your glass needs for cars, home, and business. But Joey's also got two businesses in Port Barre. When you go in on 190, if you're headed east, on the right, there was a little restaurant that had been a Mexican restaurant there at one time. Real nice facility, as a nice little restaurant, little kitchen area, can be a little convenience store as well. Real nice layout. If you're looking for a good, clean place with a great landlord, he's your man. And then in town, as you go all the way through on the left, there was a little Chinese restaurant that became a bingo hall. Really nicely redone.
But it's
8,000 square feet, huge, beautiful building.
Complete kitchen, ready to start frying and cooking.
Oh yeah, I mean, that building is that's the marquee property he's got right now. If you're interested, call Joey over at Dixie Storage, 585-4553.
Instant replay plan for College World Series. I'm sure they've been discussing this for several years, but they're going to try it on an experimental basis for the next College World Series, and I'm looking forward to it. And
yes,
I wonder if the major leagues is thinking about that.
I think eventually you'll see it. You'll see it more and more, like maybe the playoffs or special games.
Boy, they had a bad call this past week. It was on all the shows. I mean, it
was really bad.
But you know what? What I didn't see, and I don't know, maybe you saw different pictures. The pictures that I saw, the man's feet could have been at the base. You know what I mean? He was sliding in, and it was tagging him in the chest.
I watched for that. The feet wasn't close to the plate when the man went to make the tag. Wasn't even close. So the feet, that's out. The question to me was, did he matador him? Did he, when he picked the glove, just pass it close and didn't actually make contact? That would be the thing to me if there was a question. Yeah. But I mean, it was a close call. Don't get me wrong. But boy, it looked bad. It really looked bad. And I think the umpire apologized afterwards because I think he feels he missed the call. So it happens. That's part of the game.
I had a friend of mine, Miss Laura Pete, who runs a thoroughbred breeding operation out in Plaisance, by the way. What she calls it, Peach Lane Ranch or farm. And
I know where that's at, on the way to the little monastery back there, off Dupree Road.
That is correct. She needed an attorney specializing in immigration type work. And I was referred to a young man by the name of Brad Andrus in Lafayette. And Brad called me up, and a real fine fella. I put him in touch with Laura, and they are in contact with each other. And before we hung up the phone, he says, by the way, I want to tell you something. I know you pretty well. And I says, Brad, I don't recall meeting you, but if you say we've met. No, he said, we didn't officially meet, but you meet at my house on the weekends when I get a chance to watch the Bobby Dupree show. So another person that listens to the program.
So it's Brad Andrus of Lafayette. If you got a friend or a family member that maybe needs help with getting the papers correct here in the country,
that's correct.
He's your man.
He's your man. There's specialization of all kinds, and I had never been asked to find such a person, but if you need his number, just call me and I'd be happy to pass it on to you.
KSLO on the other side of 3. Now, if you want to study about Boudin, you can also go, we talked earlier about going to the tourist center in Nuba. There's an exhibit right now about the history of Boudin. It's sponsored by the McElhinney Company, the people that make Tabasco, over here right up the road, with all kind of oral histories as well, where they interviewed all kind of old timers involved in the Boudin trade from way back to now. And some of the sponsors and some of the history people are Robert Cormier, our friends with Best Stop in Scott, Patsy Fry over here, Patsy and Billy with Billy and Ray's Boudin here in Opelousas, Mr. John Saucier with Saucier's Sausage Kitchen over in Mamou, and I've had Boudin at all 3, and I can tell you it's got to be excellent. So go by. It's going to be there for through September the 9th, so you got some time to go over at the new center.
Well, you know Ray Hidalgo. He used to own Ray's. Now he owns goes by another name on the old Sunset Highway, but he's back into making Boudin. We credit, those of us way back yonder, credit his late father-in-law, T. Joe Dupree, as being the first commercial person that was selling booze.